Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new episodes on My Plant, My Baby and Nurturing Green channel. Hi, guys. Hi, Gardener by Freak. Hello. Sorry, I'm not showing my face. I'm just trying to show you the new experience we are going to launch, which is of the Green Lamp. Let's have our guest today. Just 1 second, guys. All right, guys. Hi, I'm Anu from Nurturing Green, and today we are having this new property called NG Live, which now we have taken into two different properties basically, which is one is NG Lounge and the other is Ask Me Anything with Anu. And today we have this very special guest who hosted me once, and today I'm hosting her. Uh, a very dear friend I haven't met, but we keep interacting online. And today we'll. Okay, Utsav is unable to join. Just 1 second, guys. Let me just re-invite her. I have just again sent her the request. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yes. Hi, Utsav. How are you?
Hi. Good, good. How are you? Happy Holi.
Same to you. Happy Holi. A dry Holi, I think this time, but yes, still
Yeah.
a happy Holi.
Yes. How are you?
Very well. Enjoying the Sunday today and waiting for you to, for our audience to hear from you on different ideas of plants and decor and architecture.
Awesome.
All
Okay.
right. So before we start, let me first get some intro about yourself and tell me to the audience and us, all of us, about Arkia and how has been your journey on the entrepreneurial front.
Okay, so I am an architect and urban designer, and I started off as a content creator back in 2017, where the main idea was to help architects and interior designers, especially the ones who just graduated, start and scale their design business. And it has been more than 4 years now that we have been helping thousands of architects and interior designers start and scale their design business. We've recently launched our membership, and the name of the membership is Arkia Pro. And that
Sure.
is basically what we're doing through the platform, where we are trying to help them, guide them through all the nitty-gritties and providing them a GPS of where to go and where to move forward, when to pivot, when to exit, and how to go about having your own practice.
Wow, that's awesome. And give me a number because a lot of audience will be love to know because I was surprised when you told me the membership had crossed 93. What's the current
It's
count right now?
101.
Oh wow, congratulations. That's a
Correct.
good
Shagan kar diya.
number. The three digits are here.
Yeah.
I hope it goes to four digits soon.
Yeah. Right.
And a lot of new architects, interior designers learn from your experience and the playbook which you're designing. And I'll personally also would love to hear some of the Zoom calls. I have been really integrated from the design side of it, and a lot of things which we do at Nurturing Green also are design driven because a lot of problems can be solved through great designs. And
Exactly.
I have always been from I've been a management graduate, but I've always wanted to study design, architecture, and learn how nature can be integrated with
I think you're somehow a
humans.
part of it because design is incomplete without nature. So you are somehow a part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I haven't probably done a proper study, but I think I am getting closer to that. All right, so let's start the session, which for our audience to know. So today, guys, the episode or the today's session is about the role of plants in modern architecture and decor, and we'll have Utsav talking about its importance. Should it be part of it, or is it a hindrance? How do architects, interior designers see nature and plants, and what role they think of have in our lives? So, yes, my first question to you, Utsav, uh, how many times have client approach you to and put their mandate on saying, we need nature in our life, or so probably let's say if I'm doing my new house, how many of the clients have asked to have a plant like this, let's say, in their balconies or in their lounge?
Yeah. So, in the balconies, yes. In indoors, really less, because I think there's this huge gap
Misconception.
between what being a plant parent is and what people perceive being a plant parent is, and I think there's this need for conscious gardening and conscious education towards handling a plant. It's like you're having your own pet, right? You feed the pet thrice a
Absolutely.
day, you take care of the pet, you talk to the pet, and it's literally a family member. So the same thing goes for plants. So when usually what the things that we come up with is, if it's a residential project, the client will obviously ask for a garden, a very nice garden, but they will not end up maintaining it, because then they will think that, okay, this is too much effort, because the consciousness is not there. But when it comes to
True.
balcony spaces, since the space is less and since the number of plants and everything is less, and when it comes to balcony spaces, I've realized that people who do ask for plants, they're usually very conscious about what kind of plants they want, which plants they like, which plants they want to have, and they're generally aware of the direction. If it's a south direction, what kind of plants they want to have and how do they want to go about it, how do they want to keep the entire space. So there are both kind of clients, but when it comes to indoors, there is still this knack where they're like, will this plant stay, or do we have to pay a lot of attention and we don't have so much time, and etc. So that
Okay.
consciousness is still missing, but it's gradually increasing compared to like 5 years before.
And what's your opinion? Like, if a client doesn't ask for it or recommends, what do you say? Like, is it a hindrance or it's something
No,
that you
absolutely
recommend?
not. Absolutely not. The house that I'm sitting in right now, my entire childhood has been in this house, and this was built 26 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have a garden in the front yard, I have a garden in the backyard, and I have plants in my drawing room, in my living room, in my kitchen, in my bedroom. Except for office, I have plants everywhere. So I think it's
Glad.
my parents have been very fond of gardening, and
Hmm.
whenever I used to get stressed, I used to spend a lot of time taking care of the plants, because it's sort of soothing. You don't realize it, but they help you get rid of the stress really quickly, just like this. You're
Absolutely.
just giving them water, you're just giving them, digging the soil, or you're just talking to them. It just all the stress is gone like this. So I think for me, plants or green spaces are very important for a habitable living. Because what happens is, as human beings, I think we are naturally inclined towards nature, even if we don't realize it.
Absolutely.
Because let's take an example. We go for traveling, right? We go for vacations. Even if we are going to Goa or we are going to a hill station, we might book a very fancy hotel with a swimming pool, but we do want that property to be close to nature. We want that property to be
Absolutely.
close to the beach. We want that property to be close to the mountains, right? That is something that
Yes.
is, as human beings, has been built inside of inside of us, and somehow we don't realize it. But that is there. That's why we yearn to go close to nature every 3 or 4 months, because we are sick of the concrete jungle that we are living in now, that the life that has become for us. So that is very crucial for us as human beings. So whenever a client comes with a set of requirements that, yes, I am very fond of gardening, yes, I want plants, yes, I want this. So usually what they have is that प्लांट्स अच्छे लगते हैं तो मुझे लगाने हैं, दैट्स इट. मैंने ये प्लांट देखा था उनके घर में, वो अच्छा लगता है तो मुझे लगाना है, with no
लगाना है.
context of if that will go in your house or not, right? So
Okay.
that's when
Hmm.
our job comes in, to actually explain to them how plants work. Some plants will work in the
Absolutely.
north side, some plants will work on the south side, some plants will work on the east side or west side. how do you use plants indoors, right? When you want to, let's say, there's too much south sun coming in. You want to use a plant, perhaps a palm, to kind of cut that extra light, and so that yeah, exactly, so that the light that is coming in, it's sort of filtered. You don't have that so much of glare coming in inside of your house. For
So
people, for NCR folks, snake plants are so important now. I think last year on Diwali, I've gifted snake plants to everybody who lived in NCR.
true, I think air purifying
Yeah,
plants were a rage, I think,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
last
yeah.
couple of years. Yes.
Yes, yes. So I think thanks to COVID, this consciousness has come in, that sustainable living and being close to nature and bridging that gap between natural surroundings and the built space. People have sort of realized it because they were inside for so long. So
True.
I think plants help you bridge that gap between the natural surroundings and between the built spaces, because you cannot always live between walls. You need some sort of natural element to feel connected to the ground. So for me, that is like really important.
True. I mean, what you said about that everybody going to the hills or to the beaches every third, fourth man because we live in a highly stressful life,
Yeah.
and nature is what suits us. And
Yes.
if we are somehow able to inbuilt or integrate that in our daily life, I think we will have to go to the beaches less. We can have the nature just around us like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am blessed to have this. Sorry, one second. Yes. So I am really blessed to have, working at Nurturing Greens, because then I have access to so much of nature around. And I think for the last 3, 4 years, I've learned or have become a person where I can't live without nature.
Yeah.
And today, my interior of my house is completely minimalist, and there are more plants than
Yeah.
any
It
furniture
becomes
or
part of
concrete around.
you as a whole. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I now see that how much difference it makes to a lot of people who live. So, like mom, dad, or my wife or kids, when they see nature around, or
Hmm.
when they're, when we play. So, a lot of our activities revolve around plants. So, for example, evening tea has to be in the
In the
balcony,
garden, yeah. In the
in the
balcony, yeah.
garden, in the balcony. I
Morning
live
tea,
on the
evening
I,
tea.
I live in the 17th floor, so we don't have the luxury of having the backyards. But yes, a luxury of good balconies we have,
Hmm.
and we have sort of made it such that a lot of our time as human beings, as families, are spent in those balconies. So
Yeah.
that comes to my another question. And before I ask, let's have the audience also open up. So guys, in case you have any question for Utsav, feel free
Yes,
to ask,
please.
and
Please
I'll
ask
make
your
sure
question.
I'll make sure that is being answered by her. But yes, so the second question, Utsav, which is the continuing of this, is uh, I have seen a lot of times architects trying to take this bold step of bringing architecture and nature on their front facades, like, with the vertical walls
Yeah.
coming in. Some of the places it's been highly, highly successful. But a lot of times I've also seen that there are black walls, so the green is just dead, and now it's only the plastic which has been visible in these vertical
Yeah.
walls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's make lot of architects scared of taking this bold step, because it's not easy to manage a vertical wall with a let's say 100 feet height or a 70 feet height wall, and you can't manage it. And if you can't manage it well, the whole facade goes for a toss, which means the whole effort of the whole architecture or the whole building which is designed sort of goes for a toss. And I've started to
Yeah.
feel that a lot of architects and a lot of design guys are trying to move away from nature, because somehow it impacts the overall design of the building, which
Yeah.
so what's your step, like, given a choice, that it might get damaged and your whole project can be compromised because of that greens. Do you still recommend, or let's say in the new membership class will you still tell to the new aspiring architects and designers to go for the greens, even if, let's say, how do you manage it? Like, what's your viewpoint on it?
Okay, yeah.
Should architects go for it?
So
Should they don't?
when it comes to vertical gardens, what the problem that comes is that after a couple of months the plants die because the maintenance issue is there, right? So in fact this happened with us once, and we were
Okay,
trying to introduce, yeah, we were trying to introduce on the boundary wall, we were trying to introduce the entire green
entire
vertical
green.
garden, but it was
Yes,
not through
yes.
the plastic plants, it was through जो नेचुरल बेल होती है ना, आप बेल क्लिप
अच्छा,
करते हो
उससे
तो
फिर
naturally वो आ
you
जाता है.
can let
So
it keep
that
down.
worked. That has worked from us because the bail
Yes,
was naturally coming. But when
absolutely.
it comes to those plastic vertical gardeners, the biggest problem is that the clients are not able to maintain those things.
Manage.
So I think the ideal option is to actually ask them if they can and how they can if they want to, because people do like vertical gardens. It's only, as I said, the consciousness is not there to be able to understand how to take care of it. And I think it just takes 2 to 3 minutes per day just to take care of a vertical garden. It's not much because we used to have those when we were working in offices. So it takes 2 to 3 minutes just to take care of a one wall thing. If two people get together, it's not a big deal. It's about
Right.
using the right method and the right strategies,
Absolutely.
and making sure that you just have to keep a check on how things are doing. If one
Sure.
plant, if one leaf starts changing the color, you're doing something wrong. So you just have
Absolutely.
to put enough effort to look at it and see if that's working. So I
Right.
think that is a problem, but we have never been able to accomplish this thing with the plastic plants because the clients have said no, that we cannot maintain it. So we
Maintain it.
used to do the bale thing,
The bail
and
wala
that
thing.
has been working well for us.
But the problem with the bail wala thing is that you can't have a 40 feet wall and then get it covered.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it can only be done if it's a 6, 10 feet at max.
6, 10
And you
feet,
want to
yeah.
sort of either grow it up or, from the top you want to put it down.
Yeah.
You trail it down. It can only go to, like, if it's money plants or if there are few creepers, they can only go to, let's say, 8,
A
10
certain
feet
height, yeah.
max. A certain height. Beyond that, the strength of the plant is not there. Even if it happens,
Exactly.
then ऊपर से वो nude होना शुरू हो जाता
Huh.
है, and then
Huh. And then there's
towards the
thunderstorm
tip,
and other problems.
and then
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so I understand. So one more question I have, again relating to it, is I mean, I have a very different view on how lot of online people and a lot of people I have met. For example, my mother or everybody think and say that gardening and decor with plants is a very cheap hobby, which means that it's not costly to manage a garden. But when I look at decor, I have seen that if people look for quality and if they want to have a good, so for example, this palm tree, right? It looks absolutely healthy.
Yeah, there's
This
not
is
even a single yellow thread anywhere.
absolute, and it's really bushy if you look at
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Uh, it covers the complete corner there. But then this is not cheap. It's expensive.
Yeah.
When I say expensive, because the mindset हमारे India में, I mean, if you go to a garden center in London, or you go in Europe, or let's say in Dubai or Singapore, the prices are at par with, let's say, a marble piece which you want to keep it there. राइट, बट इंडिया में क्या है कि एक पाम पीपल स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग कि वो 50 रुपए का होगा और वो 50 रुपए का उसे लगा देते हैं. And that's why they don't get a great piece coming out of it. If you
Yeah.
buy a healthy plant from a healthy garden center or a good garden center, you will see
Yes.
that the quality is much different, and it comes out really well as a decor piece also. Now, you as an architect, when people come to you saying, is price or is cost the challenge when they come to you for vertical walls or for decor or backyards? Like, ये तो होता है कि ये तो free में होना
Obviously,
चाहिए.
yeah. मतलब it's like कि ये तो हमें हमारे घर के बाजू में नर्सरी है, वहां पे 100 रुपए में मिल जाएगा, आप इतना महंगा क्यों लाए?
True.
Because it's like they're looking at it as a mass produced product. not as a living being,
True.
right?
True.
So
True.
the kind of plant that you're purchasing, where you're purchasing from, how healthy it is when it was in the nursery, it's there's a lot of difference. In fact, every nursery has a very this fine line between the qualities that you can see. You
Absolutely.
just have to be open to seeing that. It's not just about the price, it's about finding the right product, finding a healthy product. It's like that. But I would say that maintaining it is not maintaining any plant. It should not be considered cheap, as in like a plant is a living being. It has its own needs, just like you have your own needs, just like your pet has its own needs. So the same thing goes for plants. So I don't think, in fact, I've told this to my clients also, that don't think of it as a furniture piece कि साल में एक बार साफ किया या हफ्ते में एक बार डस्टिंग कर दी और हो गया. It's not like
Absolutely.
that. It's an actual living being. How you behave with it, how much you take care of it, it kind of comes back to you eventually. So I think that perception has to change these days.
True.
But yeah, I mean, purchasing a good quality plant from the right place makes a lot of difference. Because when I was living in Gurgaon, we had plants from the landlord, and I was like, I was used to call my mom and say, "Mama, palms ही थे वो भी." So I was like, "Mom, ये पीले हो रहे हैं. हमारे घर वाले तो पीले नहीं होते. ऐसा क्यों है? वैसा क्यों?" And I was very conscious about, taking care of them and everything. In fact, I started using RO water instead of normal water. I thought the water is the problem. And then she was like, "ये quality ही अच्छी नहीं होगी. मतलब ऐसे उठा लाए होंगे sorts." Because we never have these problems
Yes.
at home. So I was very
Yes.
stressed कि ये ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है. So that difference is there. Anywhere you go, that difference is always there. If you choose a good quality product from the right place, I think it makes a lot of difference.
Right. And we have a lot of questions coming in. The first question we have from Vanita, and she is asking, can we keep jade plant indoor? Utsav, you want to answer that?
I
Or
think
you
yeah.
want a plant doctor to
No,
answer
you
that?
can go ahead, please.
All right. So, Vanita, I think that's my interest part of it. I'm a plant doctor. I keep talking on the plant care, and jade plant is not absolutely an indoor plant. It requires anything above 2000 lux, which is a windowsill or an outdoor environment. So,
Yeah.
and it's an indigenous varieties from the north parts of India. So it has been born to have high temperatures. It's also jade is come from a family of succulents, so they are born and are capable to live in arid areas also. So which means that
Yeah.
they can take
You have
extreme
to keep it in the
temperatures.
window. Yeah,
Yes,
where
so
the
it
light is
has to
coming
be
directly.
where the light is coming in, and even if you can put it, I mean, if it's kept outdoor, and especially in the summers, also they're one of the best plants which can say which can be an outdoor in a Delhi balcony. Otherwise, most of the plants die in the Delhi summer heat because it's
Yeah.
too hot here.
Yeah.
Then let's have something which let's have this one coming in. So in the plains have this question that is it true that plants can grow through music? Uh,
I
what's
have
your
tried
opinion?
talking. I haven't tried music ever. Like, but I have tried talking. Talking works. Talking to plants
Absolutely.
work. Yeah.
No, talking to plants work both sides, I think,
Yeah.
for
For
us
you
as
and for the
individuals and
plant. Yeah.
humans and for
Yes.
plants also. And I've seen so many people now. So I'll tell you one of our clients and a friend also, she was totally not into gardening. Like she sort of hated plants because of the mess it brings in. Like care kaun karega if I have to travel, then I feel bad about it. And I don't have a green thumb because I've killed so many plants. And then she started buying from us. And I think she has more than 30, 35 plants now. And what is happening is अब उसके नाम कम हो गए because she has named all of them. And she has put a tag saying, okay, that's Hale and so on and so forth. And she keeps talking to them. And now I say, अब मैं अगर you'll buy the new plants, what are the new names you'll keep it? 35 से ज़्यादा नाम तो मैं तो याद नहीं रख सकता. But she keeps talking every morning. She's starting making videos and a new channel on Instagram where she just talks to the plants on how they're doing. And I think there's been a lot of research which says that it's one of the best healers And somebody who's going through depression or has anxiety, if you start talking
Yeah.
to your plants,
Start talking to your
it sort of
plants.
heals you as a human being also.
Yep.
So, guys, I talk to my plants. Utsav does. So, I think you guys should also try and see how it works out.
I'll try
Uh,
naming. I'll try naming my plants from the next time.
I know, I know. Yeah, that was a great idea, and then we have sort of started something on Nurturing Green also. Like if there's so we're launching a kid series, and at all the stores we'll name the plants for the kids. Like just like my kid, she has so many of the toys which has the names. I remember Tom and Jerry, and they have the new names. And now we thought, okay, for the kids, we're launching this new series. Let's have the names. I think should be a good idea.
Hmm.
All right, so let's have the other question. I think this is another interesting from Shruti. Please throw some light on Vastu and plants. I think this is something you should answer, and that's an interesting
Okay.
topic from my side.
Yeah, okay. So I think Vastu for me is actually very, very different from how architects perceive Vastu, because if you uh, look at Vastu, Vastu means architecture, right? And
Okay.
for a lot of architects, including me, we have realized that people have been sort of believing in those ancient models of Vastu, while Vastu is basically what we are doing, right? The needs have changed, and similarly, the what was happening back then, the rules that were going on back then, they don't work right now. So I think Vastu for me is absolutely, totally logical architecture. It's not काम नहीं चल रहा तो ये काम नहीं चल रहा तो वो. It's only about connecting built space to the human being. For us architects, for a lot of us architects,
Yes.
Vastu has only become about what the person needs, not about the hypothetical situations कि काम नहीं चल रहा है,
काम
घर
नहीं चल रहा
झगड़े
है,
हो रहे हैं, ये
डिवोर्स
हो
हो
रहा
रहा
है. नहीं,
है.
नहीं. It's for
I
me,
know.
it's not about that. For me,
Absolutely.
plants is absolutely about uh, getting close to nature, making that space, that built space, habitable for the human being to flourish as a person, as a professional, and as a family. And that is what our perception is for using Vastu and
Absolutely.
plants. Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's one of the best answers I have heard. I've seen a lot of commercial architects and Vastu guys who try to use this fear of people of
Yeah.
failing or
Mm.
having bad marriages, etc., saying this is all because of Vastu, and very rightly and aptly said that it's about people and their life and how it
Yeah,
integrates, and
exactly.
that's it.
We've
That's about
just, in
Vastu.
India, we've just been following the age-old methods, and the requirements have now changed, and it's time we stop using those methods. And it goes for everything. It's not just about
True.
architecture, but about those other rituals also that we have been just tagging along with us for no reason. So I think it's time to
True.
just focus on the current needs and move forward with them.
True. We have also Malika Kapoor, and she's asking if we're planning to design a building based on sustainable architecture, then how can we provide plants in the elevation of building? Something like green wall or anything. Ma'am,
I
I
think
think
we just
you
answered
should,
that.
yes, and you should get in touch with Utsav and her company, and I think she can help you get it done. Are you guys
We've
in
had
Bombay?
quite a few vlogs on this.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but are you guys in Bombay? Like if I am a client in Bombay and I want to get things done, can you refer or will you?
Yeah, we,
Yes,
yeah, definitely. So you have shifted to
you.
Bombay now. You don't live in Gurgaon anymore.
No. I'm in Noida, by the way, and our farm is in Western Sona, just next to Western Sona. But I thought uh, if somebody is in Bombay or if somebody
Yeah,
is in Bangalore, you
absolutely,
will.
absolutely. Yeah, that is
Okay.
definitely possible. Yeah.
There's a lot of other questions. I think let's pick up some more interesting one. This is about more about plants. Plants make music from
I,
their device.
I
Is the
think Tanya
device?
has an interesting question.
Yeah.
This is the latest
Let's.
one. Should we take plants as a concept for a modern project? I think
Yes.
100%. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can use plants, even if it's residential interiors. You can, like, how do I put it right? You can use plants to, let's say, if there's an ugly switchboard and you want to hide it, right? You can use a plant. If there's any feature that you're not fond of in your wall, कहीं पे कोई cut पड़ गया है, cracks आ गए, कुछ भी आ गया, you can just hide it through a plant. And apart from that, if you want to keep away some extra sunlight, especially the south sun or the early morning east sun that just directly is coming into your bedroom, you can use plants over there. Apart from that, if you want to create, a division between two rooms, like we have open spaces now, the living and lobbies, basically it's open. So if you want to create some sort of division, you can use a series of 3 or 4 plants. Or if you want, I mean, snake plants for, NCR folks, it's absolutely necessary.
Absolutely.
And
True.
if you are using, let's say, there's a bookshelf. These days, there's this new trend that has come in, जो money plant की जो बेल होती है, that is getting trendy for bookshelves.
Yes.
There's this simple bookshelf on the study table or anything, and there's this money plant bale that is hanging from there.
Hanging
So
from
that is
there.
becoming a very popular trend now. I think I'm seeing a lot of people doing this. And side tables, you can use that on the side tables in your bedroom. You can use on the side tables in your living space. You can use that on the center table. You can use one in your kitchen. I think that's because women spend a lot of time in kitchen, so I think that is also very important, that you can
True.
design your concept around the green spaces. In fact, in cafes and everywhere, people are now using those hanging bales and everything from the ceiling to bring nature inside. So I think in modern architecture, contemporary architecture design, plants, there are hundreds of ways you can use to experiment with plants.
True. But tell us about any 3 or 5 plants indoors you recommend. Let's say if I want to get my interiors and done, and I have a lot of sun coming in also, and as you said, I have an ugly switchboard, I want to cover it. What are the plants you recommend? Of course, you said snake plant should be one if you're a Delhi folk, but give us some idea on which are the top 3 or 5 plants across India you will recommend for different sets of people, so like somebody in Delhi, to in somebody in Bangalore, or let's say in Bombay.
Okay. I I'm not sure about Bombay actually,
Hmm.
because Bombay and Bangalore I have not worked at all. I've only worked in the northern side. But
So
money
if
plant
plants
first.
can survive in North India, any plant which
Yeah.
in indoor can survive in Delhi, I think can
Yeah.
survive in Bangalore absolutely.
Yeah, so I think definitely palm and snake plants definitely work. I think Drysina has been working well for the clients that we have introduced. Drysina, it's been working well. Money plant is definitely working well. Apart from that, what is that plant? Um,
Zizi or
no,
Zemiocalcus,
um, differentia something.
Dieffenbachias.
हाँ नहीं
Yeah.
no 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 हाँ yeah, so that
Yeah.
we're using a lot in the spaces. That is working well for us. Aloe vera is working well for us. Peace lily is
Yeah.
working well for us indoors. So
Yeah.
yeah, these are working very well.
So I think Vanita, you had similar questions. So yes, she is recommending having a snake plant, a lot of palms, and there are a lot of varieties. Palm Erica
There
being
are a
one of
lot of
them.
varieties of palms. Yeah.
Palms, yes. I have this Erica in the
Erica
front,
palm, हाँ.
and I'll show you
Drysina
what
also
I.
has a lot of varieties. There's some green. There are ones in green, and then there are ones in red.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is also one of the this is dwarf variety, guys, which you can put it on your center tables, etc. So that's one of the
Yeah.
varieties on palms. So snake plant is there. There is ericas, the palms there, and then money plants varieties. There are a lot of Scindapsus varieties which are there. Can be played really well, and you should go on.
There's snake plant. Yeah, I was forgetting snake plant.
The snake plant, the Sansevieria, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the first choice I think for the Delhi folks, especially because of the
Yeah.
pollution.
Yeah.
So guys, you should look at the snake plants, the palms, and different types of it.
Spider plants.
The spider
Peace
plant is
lily. Yeah.
also peace lily is
Peace
a
lily
great
is
option,
important.
especially indoors. The beautiful white flowers it gives out, it's absolutely stunning. and yeah, and then Scindapsuses, which are money plant, you can use it in different ways. So
Yes.
I think these are the plants, and even in Bangalore and Bombay, I think these are the plants because indoor environment is almost the same except the humidity, which is changing. The light and temperature usually sort of gets maintained in indoor space. So and in Delhi, which has so extreme humidities, if you can manage growing a palm, you can absolutely grow a palm in Bombay and Bangalore because the weathers are absolutely stunning. Yes, Tapasya, we also have aglaonemas. I think that's my personal favorite. I have almost eight varieties of aglaonemas now at home. We sell almost four varieties at scale at Nurturing Green also. It's a very beautiful indoor plant because it's one of the very few plants which has colors. And if you want to bring in color into your indoor environment, that's a great option to have.
Nice
Archana is
asking
also
for
asking
ficus. Ficus
ficus.
hasn't worked for us.
Haven't worked, yes. So for us, for me, it's an outdoor plant. We use it for which Utsav told that we have a south facing and there's a lot of sun, so we use it from the
Yes.
outdoor side to sort of give
Get
a,
that
uh,
light, and they also
cut the
get the
light
sunlight. Yeah.
and get some privacy because it sort of blocks the some part of the window which makes it translucent. So curtains and then this sort of gets the good mix. So it's a mostly outdoor plant. It will not do very well indoors unless it's been grown from base as indoors. But in India, you will not find ficuses grown indoors or in a polystructures. They're usually grown outdoors. Yes, very important. One more question we have coming in from
I
Nishtha.
think something about terrace garden.
Yes, what about terrace garden and what measures should we take while conceptualizing terrace gardens? Yes, I think people will love to know
Uh,
from you, Utsav.
yes. So, terrace gardens, this the biggest pros of designing a terrace garden is that you have light coming in from all sides. And the biggest con of it is that you have light coming in from all sides. So I think the first, the most
True.
important thing is you need to understand where are the shadows coming, which plants can you use, which plants should you use depending on what your lifestyle is, and then play with those shadows, the angles that are coming in every day, and use plants very very wisely because टेरेस गार्डन में प्लांट सबसे जल्दी मरते हैं because we have seen our clients doing this weird जिद कि नहीं हमको तो यही यूज करना है, वी वांट टू डू दिस, वी वांट टू डू दैट, एक महीने से ऊपर वो प्लांट्स कभी नहीं बचे. So you have to be very particular about how the angles are coming in into your terrace. If you're using, maybe if you're creating a canopy or something like that, or if you're using no design element, then shadows are very important. If you're creating a design element, if you're creating a pergola, if you're creating a sitting space or something like that, then perhaps you can use your plants around it, but you have to make sure that you maintain them really regularly as compared to your balconies, and you sort of use the shadows and the lighting that is coming in to arrange them really wisely, because we have, this
Right.
is one of the biggest mistakes when it comes to terraces.
Right. I said, tell me one thing, Utsav. So let's say I am living in Delhi or Gurgaon, NCR. I have a terrace which is approximately, let's say, 600, 700 square feet. I want to get it done from from a landscape architect or from a, let's say, a interior designer. If they do that, what's the approximate cost? Like how do how do I budget, or how do I put it in my pocket saying कितना खर्चा आएगा if I want to get
Not
that done?
on me to say.
No,
Seriously,
but
not on me to say, because you're going to an expert for this, and I am not a landscape architect. Seriously, not. It, you have to go to a landscape architect or a plant stylist. Plant stylists are not that popular in India, but in other countries they
yes,
are.
they are.
And you definitely have to go to a landscape architect. And I think there is, first, there is no one fixed fee, right? It totally depends on your budget. There will be the costs of the creating the whole space, designing the whole space, and buying those plants, and creating a wonderful experience around those plants for you. And then there will be their fee, but that totally depends on how much you are looking for and how much you know.
But
you
what's
want
the
to
industry trend? Let's say, let's say I'm willing to spend, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. How much should I be ready? Like, what's the percentage of the spend? How does the market works for a layman to know that is it on a percentage
if
basis
you're
or is it a fixed fees
some for some people it's percentage, for some people it's square feet basis, right?
as a
And it
square feet?
varies
Okay,
from the experience to experience. If somebody
absolutely.
has a lot of experience, they're probably obviously going to charge more. If somebody is on a percentage basis, they will, let's say, charge between 7 to 10% of your budget.
Of the budget.
Yeah,
Okay.
but this
That,
also varies on the experience.
absolutely. Just a layman thought on, just to benchmark things like, for people who are very new and who haven't ever got it done.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, I have a lot of people coming in. We have plant specialists we have 7 plant specialists at Nurturing Green who talk to clients and we get a lot of these queries and even they reach out to me. Let's say, I have almost a 20 lakh a budget, but they don't know how the fee structuring works in, right? And they don't know what consulting cost should be part of. Should it be 10%? Should it be 100 rupees a square feet? Or should it be 20% of the budget? How to structure that?
So it's the same like designing, if you're getting your own space design. So getting in touch with the landscape architect is pretty much similar. There are some differences, but overall the structure is similar to it, to hiring any architect or designer to get your space done.
True, true. So there are few more. Let's take one last question, and I think we missed one of the questions above, which is from Priyansh. That how to prevent dampness slash seal in vertical gardens, like even in terrace gardens. We were just doing one of the villas in Noida, and they've made a very. It's almost on. Hazar Gaj ka kothi hai. That's almost 4. They have merged together. Huge, huge terrace. And they also have, of course, the backyards, etc. And they want to do the terrace. One of the big questions so they had, and they got me and all the interior designer, everybody, the architect. That's boss. I need to get it done. That was their personal space. All like the sons, 2 sons, and the one father parents, they wanted to integrate and meet only in the terraces. Like everybody had one floors, and terrace was that one space they wanted for kids to come in, their personal space. They wanted to have open theaters and stuff. But this was one question in their mind, which was it took a lot of convincing that there we can do the waterproofing well and terrace
Yeah.
mein pani nahi aayega. And I think for vertical gardens also, this is one very huge
Yeah.
problem which everybody has. So how do you guys like? What do you recommend? Sealan aa jayega because that's a bad thing to have.
So we usually, what we do is we don't obviously waterproofing. We do 3 layers of waterproofing. One, two, three. So immediately after the concrete work is done, the cementing is done, we just do waterproofing first. We let it stay for at least a couple of weeks. We let it have that so much of heat and everything so that it's properly locked.
Yes,
And then we use the plants over there for terrace
over
gardens
there.
specifically, because terraces have that option to have so much of light coming in over there, so that the waterproofing and all the layers are properly sealed and tightened up. Then you can perhaps use vertical gardens, but I think minimum of 3 layers of waterproofing is a must needed.
Must have.
If there is
Absolutely.
no dampness already.
Yeah, I mean, if there is, then you should not touch it, or you
If
should
there
get it
is, then you
repaired
should
first.
probably not touch it. Yeah. You
Yeah.
should have an external just a framework, and then you should use the
Yes.
vertical.
I think that's a newer way of vertical gardening. So we've just introduced, we're bringing in one of the Japanese company who does vertical gardening, and so they don't even touch except in a big frame, which is, let's say, a 10 by 10 square feet frame. They will just have 2 points where they will touch it. Rest everything
Yeah.
comes on a frame. So the wall is not getting affected with anything in terms of there's no water whatsoever or even moisture sort of getting connected to it because the frames are such that it makes it completely
Yeah.
blocked
There's a gap
from the
between them.
there's a
Yeah.
gap which they sort of do it. So I think the new methods of what has also happened, Utsav, also in vertical gardening is that there is a lot of this Chavdi Bazaar and the local people who have just tried to copy the design, thinking that they can do the same job. So a good vertical gardening will be not less than 1,500 to 1,800 square feet. But I know guys who have got it done for 100, 150, or even 200 rupees a square feet. Like for a 200, 250 rupees square feet, if you do it, it's just plastic which is integrated to your wall, and then there's just plant which is bound to have these sealants
Yeah.
and dampness coming in. But if you do a good job or get a good brand, for example, ELT from Pune, very good guys, they do awesome job. They have done a lot of commercial buildings. If you get it from them, they charge high, but then they do a very absolute fantastic job. Like I have seen vertical walls also on Delhi Metro pillars, which are all black, and I have seen it in Hyderabad in the malls, which is the front facade, and they look absolutely stunning. So it depends also the dampness can or cannot come depending which vendor you are using.
Yeah, I think for this price issue, I say this a lot and I just want to say this again in this live कि सस्ती चीजें कई बार बहुत महंगी पड़ती हैं. So this
Absolutely.
is what I have explained to my client कि सस्ते के पीछे मत भागो. Eventually you will just get, fed up of
Yes.
it. But invest once, invest good, and then be happy and
True.
fulfilled with it. Yeah.
True. True.
So this is
Otherwise,
what I want
I've
to say to the audience.
absolutely. I mean, we have done, I don't know, more than three, 400 projects on terrace and balconies. And now what we've done is we say no. I mean, we humbly say no. If somebody comes and says, "My terrace ka budget is 50,000," I say, don't get it done. Just go and buy a few plants. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
You can't have that dream of having a pergola and sitting in
परगोला
a
ही 50,000 का नहीं आएगा.
नहीं आएगा exactly so when they say to me कि एक एक glass chamber चाहिए so that we can watch the movie or they want to have an experience of watching कुछ कुछ होता है in the clear sky uh, or they want to have their kids party being organized there so it should be kid friendly and I say tell me the budgets first and then now I know what's your taste and if they come up saying with these figures I say don't do it because if you spend that you will not have that same experience which you want you will anyway spend some money so let's say you spend 2 lakhs and you will still not have the same thing coming in
Yeah.
pergolas में लकड़ी आप लगाओगे और वो फिर वो फूल जाएगी after 6 months you'll say oh now I have to change it so that whole experience is so bad that you end
Yeah.
up spending much more money than what you would have spent at the first place. So either
Yeah.
you don't even do it, or if you do it, you do at
Do
least
it
a
right.
good,
Yeah.
decent quality. Do it right is what I think.
Cheaper things
And
usually have a higher maintenance cost.
true, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Utsav. It's pleasure.
Thank you so
It's
much
already
for
50
having
minutes
me.
of the thing. I thought we'll just keep it to 30 minutes, but it was so much of pleasure having you.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
so much
fun.
of
Yeah.
learnings. It was fun. Good learning for me and also for the audience. Hope guys we have able to answer. She was able to answer. We are able to answer all your queries. We'll keep coming live with the NG Lounge thing again, where we'll have more people from architecture, plant parents, and we're trying to have a lot of food guys also, so that we can just talk on different areas on how plants can integrate with humans, how you can grow your own food, etc. So lovely having you, Utsav. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in,
you so much for
and
having me.
uh,
Yeah.
look forward to be in touch again. Have a
Yes,
nice day.
absolutely. You too. Bye. Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
the Holi with
You
friends
too.
and families.
Yeah,
Bye
you
bye.
too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.